Hello dear viewers and welcome back again right here at Good Morning Kuwait, and today we have our first guest, but before that let's have a small introduction. So, an architect, co-founder and managing partner at private real estate company where he leads projects known for thoughtful design and strong economic and financial performance. He earned his master's in architecture in the United States with a concentration in real estate. So let's welcome architect Mohammed Alsaqer, co-founder of Real Estate Private Company. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nasser. Thank you for having me.
You know, I actually had a show once which is called Architecture, basically. And I've always found it very beautiful to see architecture around the world. It's always amazing to see how things change throughout time and how you still can keep some old things and some new things are still emerging, but it's always nice when they fuse with each other.
That's very true. Yeah. Architecture is a narrative of stories where we can actually depict the future and also document the past. So it's a form of storytelling.
And I'm sure you had your wonderful time when you were studying and seeing these architecture through the pages and books and talking about it with your professor or doctor.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So as my first question is, like, how did you start this this business of real estate? What got you through it? I mean, I'm sure that your family also have this long background of real estate.
Yes, I mean, they always say the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. A lot of the information that I have was not only acquired academically, but also through the close monitoring of my family, my parents, and my father, architect Saud Alsaqer. I've learned mostly through his experience in the Kuwaiti environment, and I truly believe that I still have a lot more to learn from him, yes.
Very true. So could you tell us in the beginning, in your kind of view, what makes architecture very special in some way and what makes the projects truly successful?
What makes a successful architectural project and real estate project as well is that we have to understand that we're never designing in a vacuum. We have to understand that any building within the urban fabric, it's a living organism. You know, we have to treat it that way. And it's not just, we don't only need to collect urban intelligence or financial intelligence, but also human behavior. That type of intelligence really helps facilitate the success of a real estate project within a modern city.
Amazing. So another thing would be like, in your view, as you're saying that it has to be a living organism.
Yes.
So could you talk more about it? Like,
yes, if we start viewing buildings as part of a larger urban fabric, that not only do they provide shelter or a type of typology, like whether it's retail, hospitality, or something institutional or educational, but they are part of an ecosystem. We are trying to enhance the standard of living, the quality of life of people. I mean, we're currently sitting in a studio, it's an enclosed space, and I do believe intelligence, information, data-driven design, whether in architecture or real estate, is very crucial in a success of a real estate or architectural project.
Human behavior.
Yes.
Where does this actually enter, or how can it actually be important in real estate or architecture? But I think it's more into architecture more than real estate.
Actually, in both industries, it's absolutely crucial because we need to understand how humans interact. We need to understand how humans conjugate in a specific space. For example, if you understand human behavior in an educational building, how can I provide the best design to enhance the education of the students? If I want to understand how people shop in a retail mall or structure, how can I influence their shopping experience through collecting data of how we shop? I mean, right now we do have online platforms of purchasing goods and also making appointments for different services. But what does that mean for the built environment? And I do believe understanding human behavior and how we act alone and with each other can enhance a real estate and architectural project.
So in architecture, as I understand, sustainability is very important, and basically adding greenery, making it more walkable for humans to actually just breathe the fresh air. At the same time, it gives a beautiful architectural influence or shape. How does greenery actually affect that, and how basically designing a specific architecture can make walkability actually more engaging?
Yes, that's a very important question. If we look at developed cities like New York City, what is the first thing that you think about? Central Park.
Yeah.
It's a huge open space that all the tenants or all the inhabitants of New York City use that as an escape from the concrete jungle. And if we reflect that on Kuwait's urban fabric, we have the equivalent of a Shahid Park.
Very true.
Not only is it a successful green space for people to exercise, for people to enjoy a small meal or to meet friends, but also it's a driver for economic value. Let's say, for example, the Four Seasons Hotel, which is right adjacent to Phase 3 of a Shahid Park.
Yeah.
Real estate prices, usually around open green spaces, increase in value. We've seen that in different economies around the world. So not only is it architecturally effective in creating these connections between open spaces and adjacent buildings, but also through the financial model of real estate.
Greenery is also added into the building itself sometimes, that they want. Sometimes if you're not in a place where you have a big park like Shahid or Central Park,
yes,
it's implemented within the building itself just to give that communication between nature and human.
Yes, or we can have pedestrian paths that connect the user from the actual development to that open space, either or. And that in itself is sustainable because you're creating a better quality of life and we're not just dependent on specific enclosed spaces.
Okay, so Kuwait actually had a mass transit system. How would you talk about that, which is the metro system? How would you think it would actually make our life more, other than the fact that it's going to be easier for transportation?
Yes.
Will it add to the beautification of the real estate and architecture to Kuwait?
That's a very important question. I'm a huge avid metro rider. I have been taking the metro almost all my life, and I definitely do believe that creating a very successful metro system within Kuwait City not only allows great access to very important developments within the city, but also it cuts down the commute time for a lot of people. Right now, if we look at the infrastructure of Kuwait, we have huge congestion for people going from point A to point B. And I don't believe having different working hours or extra lanes on the road would be enough to alleviate this congestion. We need a very effective metro system that can transport a large number of people from point A to point B. And that is one of the best solutions to tackle congestion. You mentioned beautification, which I'm happy you did, because the beautification of Kuwait City is something that is not just on the government side, but also the private side. That's why we have this urban green initiative that has been appointed by the previous Minister of Electricity and Water and Renewable Energy, Dr. Mahmoud Boushehri. This committee is led by Sheikh Ahmed Al-Sabah, and they're doing a great job in kind of bridging and allowing the private sector to be part of the beautification of Kuwait City.
All right. And as you said, like a part of the congestion solution is not actually adding more lanes.
Yes.
It's actually finding different types of transportation. Yes. Do you have anything in mind that can actually also add to that solution? Metro is one of it.
Yes.
We do have buses.
Yes.
What about bicycle lanes?
Bicycle lanes would be a great advantage. But as we mentioned earlier, we need to study human behavior within a specific economical environment. If we have enough users that utilize bikes within Kuwait City, I think it's a great addition to the urban fabric to use bicycles, yes. Okay.
Now, if we zoom out to the region, what do you think and how will Kuwait-Riyadh intercity can actually help in all of this?
Yes, to give a little bit of background, there is a proposed intercity rail train that connects all GCC countries together. And this actually minimizes the, or conjoins all of the GCC economies, allowing for exchange of tourism, education, business opportunities, trade, investment. And the interrail train starts from الإيجادية and extends all the way to the border of Saudi Arabia, and it goes all the way to Oman. And this interrail train actually works on a regional scale for allowing for these economies to merge together. So it'll be a huge benefit to Kuwait City.
Plus it will also kind of lessen the congestion in the borders between Kuwait and Saudi.
That's very true. It creates different means of transport. So you're giving different options for travelers to choose whether to take an airplane, to drive, or take the train. Yes.
All right. So could you tell us a little bit more about any future plans do you see forth in the future for Kuwait right now when it has to do with real estate and architecture?
I mean, I do believe that Kuwait is going to be a more pedestrian-friendly city, especially Kuwait City. I believe we're going to see a lot more of green spaces, especially with the initiatives that have been brought up with the government. And I think we will be a sustainable city as well.
All right.
And I have great hopes and admirations for Kuwait City to become one of the best livable cities within the GCC, if not the world.
And of course, Kuwait City, the capital itself, will expand from there on, whether it's the seaside, also always we have to have that connection between the seaside, of course, because that is our heritage.
Cultural heritage,
and also the desert area.
Yes.
And knowing that also, Kuwait weather has one of the best weathers actually in the GCC, whether it's the winter time or even the summer. It's hot, but it still has that kind of a special,
That's very true.
how can I say this, atmosphere. So, well, we want to thank you for actually joining us right here at Good Morning Kuwait, and we hope to see you in other endeavors.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You're welcome. And we want to thank you right here also at the KTV2, which is the Kuwait family channel, and everyone here wants to also thank you for being here and being very informative with what we have.
Thank you very much, Nelson.
So thank you so much, dear viewers, and we are so happy to have one of the co-founder of the real estate private company right here, Mohammed Alsaqer. So before we actually continue our good morning, how about we have another report, and we'll be right back right after this.